My love and king, how beautiful you were, how beautiful you were. You're prettier than daisies and alluring roses, how beautiful you are. My Lord and King, how beautiful you are, how beautiful you were. You're prettier than daisies and alluring roses, how beautiful you are. I'm amazed at your wonder, at your beauty. I'm amazed at your wonder, at your splendor. The water of the edge, your fame. What a wonderful fragrance, a blossoming around.
The aesthetic beauty of a landscape or a terrain or environment goes a long way to tell how developed that particular area or territory is. In today's edition of Politics and Leadership, we shall be discussing, or rather, we shall be taking a look at the lofty vision of the new partnership for African development, Nepad, all right, which they call Vision 2063, all right, the progress that's been made concerning that vision that was conceived in the year 2017. All right, my name remains MC Liki Ugochukwu Amos, and that song you had at the background before we started this edition of the program is titled Beautiful, all right? Yes, but Teresa, the topic of today. Okay, so development of a society or a territory is the exclusive responsibility of both the leadership of that country, territory, or environment or locality, and also those who are being led. Why do I say that? It's a collective responsibility because the policies enunciated by those in position of authority wouldn't run themselves. Okay, there are people who must play a very significant and important part in ensuring that those policies are implemented. That's why I said both the leadership and those who are ordinary citizens of that territory or country or locality have this onerous responsibility and task to fulfill. Okay, so today we are casting a glance, a look at that vision to find out the progress that's been made in its implementation. Because we are very familiar with what we call, or what I have described over the years as rhetorical gymnastics, okay, of politicians and those who are in positions of authority in Africa, okay, who are very adept in using rhetorics to always have their way, with regards to the relationship they have with those who they are leading. Okay, they know how to bamboozle us with highfalutin words and beautiful expressions that will always make us to dance to their tune most times. Okay, but today we want to ask them very critical questions. Okay, in 2017, you came up with this very glamorous and appealing vision, all right? Painting a very euphoric picture of what the African continent will be like in 2063. today we are asking you, what have you done, with regards to the implementation of all those policies that you enunciated? All right, what is being done? Haven't those policies been consigned into the ash heap of history? Is anybody doing anything today to ensure that Africa comes close to that picture that was shown to us back then in 2017? Okay? It was painted that by 2063, people of African continent, all right, would be living in paradise on earth. Okay, yes, they will have this bliss, all right, blissful experience. Okay, in the African continent, so much so that Africans wouldn't be eager to leave the continent anymore. And how did they, aim to achieve that? It was said that there will be eradication of poverty, infrastructural development, education, good roads, water, electricity, all those essential amenities that indicates the progress of a society are all available by 2063. But a few years down the line, we are taking a look back to all those promises that was made, all those very appealing, expressions, very arresting words that we used to tell us that if we all play our part by 2063, Africa will be heaven on earth. Okay, so what is being done? Because over the years, we have been taking a look at the African Union, all right, to find out, what is being done with regards to, the New Partnership for African Development, okay? Yes. So, now we have looked at the critical sectors, okay? It was said that there will be a free trade zone that will cater or take care of commodity volatility, all right? Yes, that has to do with what they call African commodity strategy. This essentially has to do with cash crops, major cash crops produced in Africa, like cotton, rubber, all those very essential agricultural products that are very commercial in nature, and then the mineral resources. Okay, yes, the gold, the petrol, and all those things, have a regulation that govern not just their extraction and production, but how it's sold, particularly to people of African descent, okay, especially manufacturers who make use of these raw materials, okay, in their various industries. It was enunciated that these raw materials would be managed in such a way that it would be beneficial to these big industry players, who will in turn, okay, make it to trickle down to the ordinary man down in the street. What has been done in that regard? Virtually, if you ask a sincere African on the street, for example, on the street of Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, all those various African countries, they will tell you sincerely that not much impact has been felt in that regard, okay? Because things are getting worse by the day, prices are skyrocketing, these raw materials are even becoming more scarce and unreachable to the ordinary man. What is being done? What has happened? Few years down the line, we're asking you, the African Union. All right, the second policy that was enunciated was that there will no longer be wars, and these social unrest and conflicts that the African continent was beginning to be known by, okay? But we witness pockets of unrest, civil, conflicts, and ethnic, bigotry and all that. And we're asking, what is responsible for this hydra-headed monster? Why is it that we cannot have an African environment or society where people, embrace each other sincerely in peace and harmony? All right, where people strive for the development of the general populace, not a society riddled and replete by selfish pursuits. Okay, that's what we are asking Nepad. What are you doing to ensure that there is peace and tranquility in various African countries, in the African continent? Because going by what we have, where we still have coup d'etat taking place in some African countries, and then ethnic, bigotry and all that, and conflicts. Why hasn't that been named in the board? Are we still going to wait till 2063 and then we'll come up with another vision like we did in Vision 2020? I hope we won't wait until that time. Okay, and the next issue that we said is that there will be an African e-university. All right, yes. But though we have not seen that, come to fruition, all right, we have not seen anywhere that African university has been established. Okay, for those of us who are very hungry for, that level of academic pursuit and excellence, okay, who would want to, know what it tastes like and feels like to be part of the Pan-African University, to get a degree from there. We are still expecting the African Union to tell us what they are doing, with regards to that. Okay, it's no longer the era of making empty promises and going back, and taking your tea and champagne in your various chambers, hallowed chambers. It's not going to be like that. We are beginning to ask you questions. Please tell us what is being done. Okay, yes. The next thing that was said that there is going to be this uniformity, okay, or an issuance of African passports, okay. That's an example is what you have with the ECOWAS passport, okay. Yeah, but they said there will be an African passport that would, guarantee free and seamless movement, okay, of African citizens from one country to the another without harassment of immigration officials. But up to now, nothing has been done in that regard. So, the African Union, we are asking you today, could you please tell us what you were doing with regards to all those lofty objectives that you stated that will be achieved in 2063? All right? But whilst we are waiting for you to tell us what you're doing, we have some solution that we are profiling today, okay? For instance, we are saying that for all this to be achieved, we know that all the different stakeholders must be involved. And the only people that can get them involved are you people that are called the Organization of Heads of States and Governments of African countries, okay? In your various countries, what are you doing to bring or pull the major stakeholders together, like captains of industries, the civil society, the international community in your various countries? You have the IOCs and all those people. What are you people doing, okay, to bring everybody together to contribute their quota? Because we know that the domestication and implementation of all these visions that you have enunciated will take a lot of resources, financial resources. Okay, what have you done, to pull the resources that will be needed for the implementation of this lofty vision, in place? What have you done to put it in place? Okay, all right. Now, what we are saying is you also need to show or demonstrate accountability, okay? Yes. Sincerity and accountability has been the bane of African leadership in society, okay? Where the citizens always cry and bemoan and cry, heartlessly because endlessly rather because the level of insincerity where and the gap that it's evident between the rich and the poor, it's very very glaring, very very intimidating for that matter, where a few people have stinkingly and you know intimidatingly rich, while others and where the majority of others are just trying to rake a living out of their existence. That's a very evident of insincerity, and lack of accountability and transparency with management of resources that this continent is blessed with. If the vision must be implemented and achieved, then the show of opulence and reckless financial, what would the term would I use now? Extravagance has to be done away with. Okay, if people, politics and leadership is about seeing to the betterment of the people in your various localities, okay, in your various territories and countries, please, okay, yes. Having said all this, we are pleading with you today. The era of lofty promises and glamorous visions and destinations which remain illusory has gone. If you must make promises to your people, make sure that you stand by them and fulfill them. This is where we're drawing the curtain today. My name remains MC Licky Licky. Good to go, for him. Stay tuned to Get Smooth Television. Bye for now.
Hello, enchantress, serveur Christopher. Oh, je suis belle, je suis prestation. Tu es evil, tu es feel the bar. Magic land, give me a listening ear to paint a vivid picture of how you were to me. You were my drinking star, Indian ramen dippy. I got no bubble because it bought my bubble. It's been my daily cry to be with you every day of mine. You're the wink at me, you're the look at